Columbina is absolutely going through it right now and looking super pale. She starts yapping about returning to the moon and feeling dizzy, which is honestly a bit concerning for everyone involved. The group realizes the moon marrow they snatched back might be reacting to her, which is just classic mystical item behavior. It turns out Columbina is basically a walking lunar battery now. She mentions the moon inside her feels silent, which is honestly a mood. She manages to ground herself using some light powers, and now everything she touches gets marked, which is kind of a cool aesthetic if you think about it. We are getting a major lore drop about the three moon goddesses and their tragic backstory. Apparently, there was a whole war and things got messy, leaving only the frost moon intact. Columbina reveals she is connected to this power, but feels way too distant from it to actually control anything properly. The squad asks if she wants to be a full-on goddess, but she hits them with a hard pass. She clearly does not vibe with the responsibility and says the power actively rejects her anyway. It is giving major imposter syndrome energy, but she decides to just hold on to the marrow for now. They start talking about the wild hunt and this mysterious guy who is obsessed with the moons. It sounds like he has some serious beef with the celestial bodies and might be a leftover menace from the Cataclysm era. The lore is getting deep, and it seems like this villain has zero chill. The realization hits that they might be dealing with one of the five sinners, which is actually terrifying. Columbina drops some truth bombs about how dangerous this situation is, noting that even her former Fatui colleague got wrecked. It is definitely time to lock in because this is not a drill. Columbina offers to show the traveler a core memory of when they first landed in this world. It is a trippy experience seeing the spaceship and the past, proving that memories are messy little things. It is a bonding moment that feels super intimate and honestly kind of sad given everything that happened. After agreeing to keep the moon marrow, Columbina decides to teach the traveler some concealment magic. She shows off a shield technique that looks incredibly sturdy. It is nice to see her being helpful instead of just mysterious, and she even hints that she might start warming up to people eventually. Columbina starts spilling tea about her time with the Fatui. She talks about how she used to sing but got told to hush because it creeped people out or disturbed their sleep. It is hilarious to imagine her just trying to vibe and everyone else being absolutely terrified of her presence. We get a bedtime story about a whale and a bird, which is surprisingly wholesome. It seems Columbina has a soft spot for the little creatures called Kuhani and enjoys lulling them to sleep. It is giving massive cozy energy and shows a much gentler side to her usually ominous persona. A wild painter appears. A little Kuhani wants to do some art, but is struggling with the colors. Columbina is being incredibly patient and trying to help the little guy out. It is adorable watching a powerful entity fret over paint supplies for a tiny forest creature. The group decides to name the little painter Mulhouse, which sounds super fancy for a forest spirit. Columbina reveals she can tell all these little guys apart, which is impressive. They bond over finding the right colors, and it is just a very pure and wholesome creative session. Columbina needs a favor to fix a broken lyre for one of her little friends. She is trying to be sneaky about it and not be seen by the artisan. It is kind of funny how she goes to such great lengths just to fix a toy without having any social interaction. They take the lyre to a mechanic who is super confused about where these items keep coming from. Hi there. If you want to enjoy more gaming lore without grinding for 60 hours, hit that subscribe button. I do the grinding so you don't have to. Your support really helps the channel. The traveler has to gaslight the mechanic a little bit to get the job done without revealing Columbina. It is a chaotic interaction, but hey, the lyre gets fixed. and that is what matters. The mechanic fixes the lyre and gets some rare components as payment. She almost figures out who Columbina is based on a statue resemblance, but gets distracted. It was a close call, but the squad manages to keep Columbina identity under wraps while securing the fixed instrument for the little ones. Columbina is out here gathering glowing stones to play games with the Kuheni. She explains that these stones light up with magic and form pictures. It is really cute that she spends her free time setting up elaborate art projects for the forest critters instead of doing evil villain stuff. They find a lost child wandering around, and Columbina immediately goes into big sister mode. Even though she worries about scaring the kid, she helps guide them back home using a trail of lights. It is a touching moment that shows she actually cares a lot about the people of this land. A little animal comes running to Columbina because it is scared of monsters. It is wild that she can understand exactly what the critter is saying. She immediately takes charge and directs the squad to go handle the threat, acting like the true protector of the forest. The group stalks Llama, the Moonchanter, to see what she is up to. She catches them immediately because obviously you cannot sneak up on her. It is a bit awkward, but they finally get to have a proper conversation without all the secrecy and hiding in the bushes. Mulhouse paints a picture of Columbina surrounded by animals in the forest. It makes Columbina nostalgic for the days when she could just chill with nature without everyone being afraid of her. It is a bittersweet moment where she realizes how much she misses that simple connection with the world. Columbina introduces the Traveler to Moon Chess. She uses her powers to make a floating board, which is essentially a massive flex. It turns out to be a more complicated version of tic-tac-toe, but the visual effects alone make it a 10 out of 10 experience. They finish the game, and Columbina seems genuinely happy to have someone to play with. She gives a small token of friendship, and it feels like a major breakthrough in their relationship. Who knew a board game could be the catalyst for such a wholesome bonding moment? The little Kuheni swarm Columbina in a massive hug attack. It is aggressively cute, and she looks like she is drowning in fluff. She admits she played a game with them, and now they are obsessed with her, which is honestly the best possible problem to have. Columbina is teaching the little guys how to play the lyre and sing. The Traveler joins in, and it turns into an impromptu jam session. It is incredibly peaceful and shows that music really is the universal language, even for mysterious moon goddesses and forest spirits. Mulhouse presents a new painting of Columbina looking at the moon. It hits deep because she used to stare at the sky, wondering about her home. Now she realizes that maybe the empty moon is not really where she belongs, and her true home might be right here on the ground. Columbina suddenly decides she wants to try a drink from the tavern. It is a small wish, but for someone who has been isolated for so long, it represents a huge desire for normalcy. The Traveler steps up to make this happen because everyone deserves a little treat now and then. She starts getting incredibly philosophical about eating berries. She talks about sensing the life force and sunlight in the fruit, which is way deeper than just saying it tastes good. It is a reminder that she experiences the world on a completely different level than regular people. Columbina takes the Traveler to a special spot and literally walks on water to paint with moonlight. It is absolutely mesmerizing and one of the most beautiful things she has done. She uses this moment to help restore the memories and form of a lost friend, showing her incredible power. The locals decide to renovate the statue of the goddess to honor her return. It is a huge gesture of acceptance that clearly moves Columbina. She realizes that she does not have to be a lonely figure watching from afar anymore, and can actually be part of the community. They unveil the statue with new wings, symbolizing her freedom. Columbina admits that looking at it used to make her sad, but now it feels like home. It is the ultimate character arc resolution, moving from isolation to belonging in a way that feels completely earned. Columbina takes Mulhouse on a field trip to the literal moon. The little painter is looking for inspiration and finds it in the view of their world from space. It is a trippy excursion that proves Columbina is willing to go the extra mile for her friends. Seeing the painting of the world from the moon makes Columbina realize she has two homes now. She understands that home is not just a location, but where your heart is. It is a cheesy sentiment, but in this context, it hits right in the feels and wraps up her emotional journey. While playing chess again, Columbina reflects on the other moon goddesses. She remembers them fondly and wishes things had gone differently, but she is at peace with the present. It is a moment of honoring the past while firmly deciding to live in the now. Columbina tries to play a shell game using magic hats, but completely misses the point of the trick. She is shuffling things around but cheating with magic, or just being too literal. It is hilarious watching a cosmic being fail at a simple street game because she is too overpowered. The scene shifts to Columbina cooking soup for a massive line of hungry creatures. She has become the ultimate mom friend, feeding everyone with recipes she learned. It is such a domestic turn for her character and shows she really loves taking care of others. She gives the traveler some crumb cake she made herself. She talks about how food tastes better when it is made with love and care. It is a super sweet moment where she acknowledges how much their friendship means to her through the medium of baked goods. The journey ends with Columbina giving the traveler a special wind glider. She thanks them for their companionship and wishes them well on their future adventures. It is a perfect goodbye gift that symbolizes freedom and the bond they built during this whole saga. Gaming lore is long and confusing, but I break it down every week. Subscribe so you never miss a plot twist or hidden detail. Thanks for watching.